Hello everyone, what if Knight 310 here, back with another video. Last time we left off with Naruto trying to think of a way to make his village kind of exist and be recognized by the other villages. I did make mess something up. After thinking about it, I decided that Jack, the custom character I made, I guess we can say exists, but we're gonna replace him with Haku because he was around Naruto's age and he's an actual character, so we know a bit more about him than we would some made up random dude. And it also means, well, you know, Genkai from basically everyone, well, except Naruto. He might get the Uzumaki chains and stuff later. That's not in that line. Okay, so we're going to do political first. Naruto, we're going to say from Kazuno's village, there's a messenger. He tells the messenger to take a scroll to the leaf. He tells Zabuza to write something down on a scroll, and then he gives it to the person. He then gets them a boat, because I'm going to say they have a boat manufacturer there as well, so they can get mainland there to send information to, well, to send them to the leaf, because that's where the Chunin exams will be held. This messenger, after a few days, would eventually arrive at the leaf. After requesting to see the Hokage and eventually getting permission, he would inform him that he comes from a village that is recently being created, and they would like to offer a deal. If they are allowed to, if the leaf recognizes them as an actual village and allows them to participate in the Chunin exams, then they will give him the Thunder God Blade. The third Hokage, Hiruzen, says he'll have to talk to the council about it and tells the messenger to stay in the village. He calls the council and organizes what they should do. Danzo says we should send Anbu to follow the messenger. Hiruzen says if we do that and they find out, there's a good chance they'd hide the blade from us. I think the best option would be to recognize them. Danzo says, do you have any information on them? He said no, but the message, I'll read the scroll to you all. I am Zabuza Momochi, one of the 7 swordsmen of the mist. I'm currently leading a small village, and inside our village there are multiple shinobi. The creator of the village is too young to take the responsibility as leader, so I was appointed leader instead. Temporarily. Well, probably for quite a while. Anyway, we would like to be recognized as an actual village, and will like to be allowed to participate in the Chunin exams. We only have one team that thinks they're ready to go, but if you accept all these terms and allow us to attend all future Chunin exams, we will give you the Thunder God Blade, the legendary sword of the second Hokage that was lost so long ago. The creator of my village, he found the person who had it and fought them, and he recognized the blade and decided we should use it to return it to the leaf. But he also had the idea to have you recognize us as a village. He is quite intelligent. If you accept, I will come with one Anbu, and I will explain more about our village. Although I am not going to give you the whereabouts, I will bring the Thunder God Blade with me. The council says we should agree to. Dondo says we should agree to this. Surprising Hiruzen, and Hiruzen says yes. He then calls in the messenger and says, "Tell your leader that we will be waiting for his arrival." The messenger leaves. Now we're going to switch over to Naruto's perspective. Naruto knows he'll have to be going to the Leaf soon, so he dyes his hair color, and we're gonna say over the time he was gone from the village, he ate properly and he's taller. We're gonna say it's been about, I don't know how long it was between that. I don't think it was a year. So we're gonna say half a year to be generous, and we're gonna say he's a decent bit taller. But he does transformation to make himself even taller to make it harder for him to be recognized. And then he puts on a mask, similar to the one you see here. Zabuza and Naruto head to the Leaf Village. After a while, they finally arrive. And when they enter the village, they show them the papers, and they go to the Hokage's office. Well, to the council. Zabuza says, do you agree to the terms? The council says yes. And Zabuza says, after the Chunin exams, we shall return the blade. Donzo yells, you will return the blade now, otherwise no deal. Hiruzen gave him a death stare and said, it is understandable. But what information can you give us about your village? How do we know this isn't like a ploy to attack us? Zabuza says, the creator of the village originally came here. In fact, we even have a clan that came from this village. We would not wish to attack you. Although some of our clans do hate clans in your village, we told them not to act unless provoked. So I can assure you, we will not be attacking you. Then, Hiruzen says, so, will we ever get the chance to meet the creator of your village? Zabuza says yes. In due time, he will become the leader, but that is many years away. He is a prodigy in all rights, but he is pretty young. Although he is a genius and quite powerful, even stronger than I am, he's still young, so we decided he should wait a little bit. Although he does have a girlfriend. Naruto's in the room with him. Naruto figures he's talking about Tayuya, and hits him over the head, and then backs up. Hiruzen then says, is that him? Zabuza says, actually it is. Hiruzen then says, he doesn't look too young to me. Lianbu nods his head, and Zabuza says, right now he's using a transformation jutsu to make himself look older and look like a respectable Anbu. Although he is quite powerful, I assure you, he's nothing more than a child. But if he wanted to be, I'm sure he could be an exceptional Anbu member. But he's not even officially a Jonin, so he will be participating in the Chunin exams along with his two teammates. Hiruzen says fine. Naruto and Zabuza leave. On their way back, Naruto starts yelling at Zabuza, what do you mean he has a girlfriend back at the village? I'm not dating anyone. Zabuza then says, are you sure about that? You and Tayuya seem pretty close. Naruto gives him the death stare and then vanishes. He teleports right behind Zabuza with a kunai to his throat and says, you're slow, you should train some more. And then he puts the kunai away and says, for the record, we're not dating. I don't think she likes me in that way. And Zabuza says, "You don't think she does? What about you?" Naruto stutters it and says, "We're just friends, that's it." They then head back to the village. Naruto meets up with his team, which is Haku, Fu, and himself. They all discuss what training they're doing. Naruto says he picked something up for Haku, and Fu had just recently gotten permission for the summoning jutsu of the Kamaru clan. This summoning jutsu is the giant wasp. I don't have an image of it, unfortunately. But Haku is known as Scroll. This Scroll is the summon of the polar bear, because polar bears are strong and good with ice, so I figured it made sense. Naruto then said, for the next, we're going to say there's a month, so 20 days we will train by ourselves to see how much we can improve. They say okay. Naruto summons his wolf and asks if there's any collaboration jutsus they can do. The wolf says there is one thing he can teach him that will give him a great deal of power. This is Wolf Sage Mode. It'll look like this, but typically it doesn't have the red thing. We're going to say that's part of Kurama being concealed inside of him. So after 20 days, Naruto has gotten an extremely good grasp on it, and he does a similar trick to it in canon for this Sage Mode, Toad Sage Mode. Okay, now Naruto, a person comes to the village. We're gonna say that there's a rumor going around of a village full of forgotten clans. This person is Orochimaru. He asks to speak to the leader. Zabuza and Naruto, wearing his mask and Nanbu clothing, approach him. He then says, "I would like to make a deal with you. I will help your village grow if you help me attack the leaf." Naruto thinks about it, and Zabuza goes back to ask Naruto what he thinks. Since Naruto is technically the leader, he's just using Zabuza more or less as a figurehead. Naruto then whispers in his ears, "I don't know if we can trust him." Zabuza then says, asks Orochimaru, "How can we trust you?" Orochimaru says, "I only want 3 things. The first one is the death of the Hokage. The second one is the Uchiha Sasuke. And the third one is to take the Uchiha's body." Naruto says that they'll think about it. Generally, not sure what he should do. We're gonna say Naruto knows who his father was because, he found out recently who his father was. So he knows his father was the 4th Hokage and gave his life for the leaf. So he's having a tough decision. Eventually he decides no, and he warns the Hokage. He sends a clone to do it. When they get to the leaf. Before they can warn the Hokage, they end up bumping into 3 shinobi. Naruto says, "Excuse me," and then he says, Naruto bumps into Kankuro, and Kankuro goes to punch him. Naruto catches it, and he apologizes and said, "You in the tree, this wasn't just my fault. You should keep a better eye on your teammates." Garo's eyes open wide, surprised that this kid could sense him. Naruto then walks off, but before he gets a chance to fully leave, Gaara asks for his name. Naruto responds, "It's polite to give your own name first." Gaara says, "I am Gaara of the desert." Naruto says, "Call me Blank for now. Because don't forget, his name, he will get in big trouble if we find out who he is." So for the Chunin exam, he's going to go as Blank. Then we're going to say Naruto yells something out to Gaara. "You You have a tailed beast inside you, don't you? Surprising Gaara. Gaara asked how he knew. Naruto said, me and my teammate. Fu, the girl, she also has a tailed beast. Gaara asks, are you telling the truth? And goes to attack Naruto. Naruto vanishes and teleports right by Gaara, putting his hand on his shoulder and saying, yes, we're gonna say Naruto put a seal on the ground with his foot. Naruto then vanishes back by his team and says, we should meet up sometime. I may have a proposition for you. Then they leave. Anyway, we're gonna say it took him like 5 days to get there. So Naruto, he basically takes his team around the village, showing them a couple places, and then the Chunin exams roll around. It's time for the first test. This test is the written test. Naruto, after finding out what the test is, since he is smarter, he does realize what this test is meant to teach it. So let's go over how his team cheats. Naruto doesn't need to, because he does have a 300 IQ. Fu uses the insect she got from the Kamuru clan. We're gonna say the insects like her extremely well. And we're gonna say because she's a Jinchuriki, she can link her vision with theirs, and she copies it. Haku just creates a small ice mirror to cheat off the person in front of her. No, him. I don't know why I said her. Anyway, the next day, it's part of the Forest of Death. Naruto tells his team that they should take it slow. They don't want to be too suspicious. They may not be playing anything, but getting a bunch of people to notice them right off the bat isn't that good. So they decide to walk through the forest instead of running. Eventually they get attacked by some enemy team. We're gonna say Rain Village. They're using umbrellas similar to how the team that Gaara killed was using. Naruto easily defeats them using Water Dragon, and he then goes and grabs his school, realizing it's the one they need. He puts it in his pocket and proceeds to walk, when he hears a loud noise, the noise of multiple trees being destroyed. Naruto rushes there to see what's going on, and sees Orochimaru. Seeing a person being attacked by a snake. We should go over Team 7's team. Team 7 will consist of Sakura, Sasuke, and Kiba. We're gonna say Kiba is on Team 7 because he would be the dead last. Anyway, they're fighting off the snake. Kiba hits the snake with a fang over fang, poofing it. Naruto then sees Orochimaru and performs the wind style wind shuriken jutsu, and then water style water dragon, hitting Orochimaru. Orochimaru jumps back and asks and says, reinforcements, huh? And then he performs, then he releases all of his bloodlust. Naruto, Haku, and Fu are unfazed by this and continue walking, while Team 7 is just terrified. Fu then says summoning jutsu, so does Haku, and so does Naruto. Naruto summons Ora, his wolf friend, and Haku summons the polar bear, and gets the queen wasp. Fu then uses beetle bomb jutsu. Naruto then with his wolf performs wind style wind bullet, both of them using at the same time, hitting Orochimaru. Then Naruto enters Sage mode, which yeah. And Haku performs ice style 1,000 flying ice needles, along with his polar bear running and hitting Orochimaru. Orochimaru does the rebirth jutsu, or sheds his skin. Anyway, Naruto then looks at him, puts up his guard, and asks his team if they think they can take him. Haku and Fu say no. Then Sasuke asks why they're helping him. Naruto says, a person from my village. Their clan was wiped out by yours. Your clan was recently wiped out by your older brother, right? So, we made a deal that since the person joined our village, we will let them be the one to kill you. And Naruto then vanishes, hitting Zabuza with a wind-style wind bullet, and then goes back to his team using the Flying Thunder God. Then making 2 shadow clones, both the clones using Water Dragon, and then, I'm assuming Haku knew the hidden mist jutsu that Zabuza used to blind their opponents, because we're gonna say, if not, he learned that over the training. I'm gonna look that up if he actually knew it or not. It doesn't say he knew him, but we're gonna say he learned it from Zabuza in this time. Well, in this what if, and Naruto uses Water Dragon multiple times in Orochimaru's blind spot, while Fu is basically spamming beetle bombs at Orochimaru. Team 7 uses this chance to escape, and after they get a far enough distance away, Naruto's team desummon their summons, and Naruto and they all grab onto Naruto's back, and Naruto vanishes. Naruto arrives at the middle of the Forest of Death where they were supposed to meet after collecting all scrolls. Naruto and his team walk in. Realizing that they'd done it too fast and were cleared in under a day on a 4-day test means that they are the second team there, right after Gaara. Naruto and his team go and take a rest. After a few days, the next exam is announced. It is announced to be a fighting, one-on-one. I'm gonna have to change the matches up, so give me a minute. Okay, the matches have been decided. The first round will be Hinata versus Lee. Because Lee's fighting Hinata, Lee has a big advantage. Not only because he is stronger and faster than Hinata, he also works with Neji, meaning he doesn't have to take his weights off to beat Hinata. So she's down. But she's not as brutal as Neji. So she's a bit more self-confidence. Now, Sasuke vs. Kankuro, the puppet dude, the guy in black here. Kankuro, I think he gave up in canon. We're gonna say he doesn't because he's kind of interested in Sasuke. I don't know. So Sasuke ends up, let's say, destroying one of his puppets and using his Sharingan. He's able to avoid all the hidden weapons, and he eventually defeats Kankuro. Now let's go to a match. This match I was really happy ended up being in because it just makes for an interesting fight. Shino versus Fu. They both use insects. I'm gonna say Fu does know about the hatred towards Shino's clan. So she kind of wants to defeat him, and make her teacher proud and her adopted clan. So right from the get-go, She uses summoning jutsu wasp summons and performs a bug bomb. Shino uses bug loan to avoid the bee bomb, but the wasp ends up hitting him, knocking him into a wall. Shino gets up, bleeding, and sends multiple bugs at Fu. Now, because Fu does have the seven tails gives her two abilities. The first one is wings. The second one is hardening her body. So we're going to say she uses the hardening one because these insects... Actually, wait, no, he used chakra draining insects, so that wouldn't do much. Fu uses bee bomb to counteract the jutsu Shino used. Because of the summoning, Fu may have less jutsus, but she can summon one of the strongest bugs in Naruto. So we're gonna say Fu does end up winning. Next, Tintin vs. Choji. This one was kind of hard considering we don't get to see either of them fighting too much. But after thinking about it, this is just a very bad match for Choji. Because Choji is rather slow and he's a close range fighter, meaning he has a big disadvantage against a long range fighter. And worst case scenario, Tintin has a giant spiky ball of death to beat him with, so we're gonna say Choji loses. Now for Ino and Sakura. Their match is draw. So if they both get eliminated. Now for Neji, he ended up going against the random sound ninja who absorbs chakra. That Neji obviously wins. He's not going to be taken down by some name, no name shinobi. Now we're gonna say Naruto versus Shikamaru. So it's very action packed, you know. Naruto would know Shikamaru's clan, the Nara clan, and secret jutsus, so he would know to stay away from shadows. Naruto would perform the wind style, wind shuriken, and he would launch 3 of these. Shikamaru would barely manage to dodge, and he would throw 5 kunai at Naruto. Naruto catches the first one that he threw and deflects all the others and throws the first one right back at him. Shikamaru gets scratched in the face, and Naruto performs the water dragon jutsu. Shikamaru gets hit and gets eliminated. Well, right before he gets hit, he quits, and the water dragon just disappears, basically. So yeah, Naruto wins. Now for Haku versus Gaara. Haku and Gaara would be an interesting fight because I'm pretty sure Haku and Lee can move at the same speed, and Haku's just smarter than Lee because he's pretty he's like Naruto, not very intelligent. Haku would use the demon ice mirrors and at first he would go pretty slow and aiming for some non-important parts to judge his opponent, but the sand would stop them. He would notice this and he would speed up to his full speed, hitting Gaara in a few major points, almost incapacitating him before Gaara makes like a dome around himself and expands it to where the mirrors get broken and Haku is covered in sand. But before Gaara has the chance, Gaara is preparing a sand burial or sand funeral, whichever one kills. Before he gets the chance, Naruto teleports to Haku and teleports back, meaning Haku is disqualified and loses the match, meaning Gaara continues. Sorry for noise in the background, it's my dogs and my niece. So yeah, fun. Lee versus Sasuke. Wait, now it's time for the 1 month training. Oops. Naruto, he masters Wolf Sage mode to the point where he can, basically see with a slowed down perception of time, meaning things move slower when he's in this mode. He's also a better tracker ninja. And if you're wondering why Kiba or Hinata or Neji don't know who Naruto is, we're gonna say he has scent masking, like perfume, and a seal concealing his chakra, making him look like he's someone else. Anyway, Naruto also learns wind style. What can I give Naruto? Naruto ends up learning wind style, wind palm. Fu gets taught be clone, and Haku just trains with his jutsus and speed. After the 1 month of training concludes, it's time for the main stage in the Chunin exams. Lee versus Sasuke. Sasuke isn't stronger than Canon, especially not having Naruto to push him. But he would be aware of not Naruto's, the people who helped him out in the forest, and said that their when their villagers wanted to kill him. So we're gonna say he's just as strong as in Canon. Even with the Chidori and his Sharingan, he can't beat Lee. Lee's just too fast. Now for Fu versus Tintin. Fu makes herself hardens herself, meaning Tintin can not do anything to her. We're gonna say Neji gets a free pass because, well, there's an odd number of participants. Naruto ends up facing Gaara, which Gaara and Naruto both seem pretty happy about. Naruto performs 3 hand signs and performs hand signs for the water dragon jutsu. Then jumps back and uses the wind style wind shuriken jutsu. He uses 3 of them. Then he grabs a kunai, uses wind sword, and charges at Gaara. All of the jutsus he has launched, except the water dragon, have been deflected from the sand. The water dragon was deflected, but it just made the sand wet. Naruto, realizing this, he jumps back again and performs as many water dragons as he can, making Gaara's sand wet and harder to move. Naruto then charges in with his wind sword, his kunai covered in wind chakra to make it like a sword, and he cuts Gaara and holds the wind sword to his throat. Gaara then goes into partial elite state of Shikaku. But we're gonna say Naruto did learn one sealing jutsu from the Uzumaki girl in his village, which is the 5-prong seal. Naruto uses this on him, incapacitating him, meaning Naruto wins the fight. Meaning the sand invasion actually doesn't get to happen because Gaara was the signal and one of their main weapons. Without him, there isn't an attack. Anyway, the Chunin exams actually continue. Lee ends up fighting Fu, and Fu, we're gonna say she can do the wings and the hardening, meaning Lee really can't touch her, so Fu ends up winning. Now it's Neji versus Naruto. Naruto was able to beat Neji in canon. We're gonna say Naruto does the summoning jutsu, and then rushes him and 5-prong seals him, meaning Neji can't really use his gentle fist or Byakugan, meaning the battle is Fu versus Naruto. So Jinchuriki versus Jinchuriki. So Naruto's fought 2 Jinchuriki in this. That's not good. Anyway, Naruto and Fu know each other's movesets pretty well. Fu knows Naruto will be holding back because he doesn't want the Leaf Village to know he has 2 of their forbidden jutsus. So Naruto does the summoning jutsu again, and he rushes while doing multiple wind shuriken. Fu makes herself hard and deflects each of them. The wolf goes and attacks her. Naruto aims a spin kick straight for her head, and over time Naruto wears down her defenses, and eventually he gets close enough and has enough time to do the 5-pronged seal, which is Naruto's best weapon against a Jinchuriki like himself. Sealing it, meaning Fu is now out of the match. As soon as the match is called, Naruto releases it and helps Fu up, and they leave. Naruto is promoted to Jonin because it was already decided he's Jonin level by his village, so it all made sense. Haku and Fu are Guinea now because Haku fought Gaara in the preliminaries, but Haku did pretty well. Fu also did amazing, made it. She got second, so it's pretty good. So eventually, after the Chunin exams, Naruto, he was wearing a mask and blinked the entire time. He also was doing transformation to hide his appearance a bit. So eventually, he goes back into his Zanfu. Well, he's already kind of in his Zanfu a bit, but he goes with Zabuza and returns the Thunderblade to the Hokage, and they leave. Naruto, with his team, when they get back, they tell everyone that they all got promoted, and Naruto is now with Jonin. So Naruto decides that his village is quite impressive, but they're missing one very important thing: a hospital. So he decides to have one built, and he goes and tries to find a medical clan. Well, he hears about a medical clan. This medical clan's name is the we're gonna say Naruto finds a few members, remaining Rinha clan members, which was a famous medical clan. He gets them to join his village, and they take over the hospital. From what I can see, they are pacifists, so they don't really like fighting. So he promises them that he will protect them and make sure they never have to fight. They also have a Kekkei Genkai that allows them to absorb chakra, so helpful, I guess. Eventually, the hospital was set up, and the people are extremely happy, and Naruto decides that eventually his village will probably be attacked by Orochimaru, so he needs to get as strong as possible. So he ends up doing some research and finds that his father had a jutsu. Well, created a jutsu called the Rasengan, and one person knows it. This person is, of course, Jiraiya. Naruto seeks Jiraiya out, and in a week he is able to find him at a bar. Yeah, bar. In this bar, he's talking to a blonde lady. Naruto, we're gonna say he does not have a transformation on, and he has a teleportation kunai ready to go. He walks over to see somebody he actually recognizes, Tsunade and Shizune. He says hello, and then he turns to Jiraiya and asks, "You're Jiraiya, aren't you?" Jiraiya looks surprised and says, "Yes, who are you?" He said, "I am Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. From what I understand, my dad had a jutsu. I would like you to teach me." Jiraiya looks surprised and says, "I thought you left the village hidden in the leaves." He says, "I did. I'm creating my own village, but I need to get stronger." Tsunade says, "Wait a minute, you're from the Leaf Village? So the village that treated you horribly was them?" Naruto shakes his head and says, "Yes, I was treated as a monster, as a demon, because of the 9 tails sealed inside of me." I was barely fed. I almost starved to death on multiple occasions, and yeah. So eventually he convinces Tsunade says, if you train him, I will come back to the leaf, because we're gonna say Tsunade has a really big soft spot for Naruto, because, well, after hearing his story and everything, so yeah, she agrees to go back. Um, we're gonna say that the during the Chunin exams, a few people are hurt by some like debris or something. And Kakashi and them do get attacked. We're gonna say Tachi is looking for any information, figures belief is where he used to be. So ask them. Um, anyway, Naruto eventually learns the Rasengan and says thank you to Jiraiya, and then leaves. But before he leaves, Tsunade asks him where is he staying. Naruto says, I'm building a village where people like me aren't treated as monsters. People can be themselves, free. And Tsunade looks surprised, saying, how is a little kid like you supposed to do all that? Naruto then says, I may be little, but that doesn't mean I'm weak. Then he cans her a kunai and says, if you ever need anything, throw this on the ground. You already know what it is. Tsunade notices the flying Raijin mark on it, and she asks, how do you know this jutsu? Naruto says, I learned it. And he teleports away. Because remember, Naruto did steal the school ceiling. But that's it for now. Uh, Actually, wait, no. Scratch the part about Naruto leaving. We're gonna say he stays with Tsunade for a little bit. Tsunade still got Actually, wait, would he? No, he wouldn't. Never mind. I was gonna include the Orochimaru thing, but he kind of didn't get the chance to attack the leaf because one of his best weapons was pretty much defeated, so he don't attack the leaf. But that's all for this episode. Next episode, we're going to go into Naruto doing some intense training and maybe Tsunade joining his village.